The big news from the Indianapolis Colts really came last night into this morning, and that's that DeForest Buckner is going to go on IR. That means he misses a minimum of 4 games, but they don't believe that the neck injury that he suffered is going to keep him shelved for the rest of the season. That's good news. Other good news is that really, like, you do lose with DeForest Buckner. Missing DeForest Buckner is a big deal. But with Adebawore and Gallimore, you do have guys who can get after the quarterback a little bit and plug holes to stop the run. So it's not all is lost with DeForest Buckner being out. That's not the way this looks. We're going to talk about the Colts and the Falcons. We're going to have Ivan's picks, the Colts and the Falcons. We're going to talk about IU at Penn State tomorrow, noon, big noon kickoff on Fox. That is a big game. And here's the thing that's going to be the thing. Penn State may play hard, but play hard in the opposite direction, meaning that they may play hard because they want to go to Bloomington. They would like Curt Cignetti to see them play. It's a showcase for them to become Hoosiers. Whoever thought in our right minds we could entertain a thought like that? 2 years ago, you would have sounded completely psychotic thinking something like that. But now it's not so crazy, is it? Penn State is a program in absolute chaos. Indiana knows who its leader is. They've got alignment from the university president to the athletic director to the coach. Throughout the entire program, there's alignment, and people want to be a part of that. And so the thought that there will be guys balling out tomorrow trying to earn a spot on Indiana's team come transfer portal time is not so bizarre. The great Paulie Balls kind of hit me to that, and I thought for a minute, and I said, you know what? Previously, that would have made no sense at all, and I would have laughed my ass off, but not now. It's a little bit different now. This is a huge weekend. There's nothing but fun this weekend, right? Luke Fickell going to be back as a coach at Wisconsin. We knew that. Pete Thamel reported it today. And Wisconsin, they're going to be bigger investors in football moving forward. And you have to be. You get what you pay for. And in Wisconsin, if they're not paying at the level Indiana's paying at, you know what? Then they're going to have trouble beating Indiana, and that comes next Saturday. Brian Windhorst has been extended by ESPN. And the thing, I thought, okay, Brian Windhorst is going to be retained, and all I could think of is why. Like, I have nothing against Brian Windhorst, but there are 150 Brian Windhorsts all over the country. There are Brian Windhorsts everywhere. Why in the world would you give Brian, assuming he got a raise, why would he give Brian Windhorst a raise? You got so many guys out there who do exactly the same thing and at least as well. Like what you want to pay for is a unique unicorn type of ability or ability to convey, right? Somebody who can perform, somebody who gets unique information. Something has to be unique about a person in order for that person to get a raise. I don't know what's unique about Brian Windhorst. I really don't. Again, not to disparage Brian Windhorst at all. He's good at what he does. But there are gobs of guys who are good at what they do. You know, Rick Venturi calls these guys in football Walmart guys. Because you can go to the Walmart and find a guy who's going to play as well as the guy that you're alluding to. Brian Windhorst is a Walmart guy in media. I can go get a guy at Walmart, train him up a little bit, and he's going to be everything that Brian Windhorst is today. That's easy. And ESPN would just rather overpay for talent and then ask you to overpay for their service rather than be creative, be a little bit more austere, and tell Brian Windhorst, you know what? I know. You got an offer from somewhere else. I suggest you take it. Or, you know what? You're going to work for us for the amount of money that we currently pay you. Maybe they've done that. I don't know. Maybe he was making X and this extension is for X. But if they gave him $1 more than what he was making yesterday, they absolutely screwed this up. Mark Sanchez fired, gone, replaced as the Fox Sports football analyst. Drew Brees is taking his spot. That means that Fox Sports is pretty damn smart because what Fox Sports has done is made this an opportunity. They've taken this horrible event in downtown Indianapolis that cost Mark Sanchez his job and turned it into better broadcasting for us. Drew Brees is a better analyst than Mark Sanchez was. So good for Fox. That's what you do. Every time you got to fire somebody, it's an opportunity to hire somebody better and lift your department. That's what it is. Not just in media. That's true in every business. Kyle Long says Gallimore is going to do good as will we'll just call him Tommy, Adebawore. He's going to do well too. They got defensive tackles. Now, they're not DeForest Buckner. DeForest Buckner is special. And he's making special money. But Adebawore and Gallimore are pretty damn good. Gallimore's had a sack in each of the last 2 games. This is Inside Indiana Sports Now for Friday, November 7th, 2025. We're brought to you by the great people at YouTube TV, sticking it to ABC, sticking it to ESPN, and Disney. I love it. You know, YouTube TV is this to Google, right? ESPN, ABC, and FX, also Disney, is like those broadcast rights are a significant part of the Disney portfolio. So we'll see who breaks first in this battle. It ain't going to be Google. You don't break Google in a negotiation. You think you sit at a table with Google and you're going to come in and say, well, we think we're worth this, so why you're going to pay us that? Thanks for your time, gentlemen. No. They're going to tell you how it is, and either you accept it or you're not going to be on YouTube TV. And I got to tell you what's today? November 7th? So we've been without ESPN for 7 days. I ain't missed it a minute. Not a minute. I don't need Stephen A. Smith and Brian Windhorst and Mike Greenberg, although I like Mike Greenberg very much as a guy. I don't need those guys in my living room telling me how it's going to be. I don't hate it when I got it, but I don't miss it when I don't. I will miss play-by-play. Indiana and Marquette on ESPN, 1 o'clock on Sunday. We're going to have to make arrangements to see it. But become a subscriber, first-time subscriber to YouTube TV, and you get $15 off when you use what's going to be in the show description, a link to sign up for YouTube TV. You get $15 off your first month. How about that? Become a member, because tomorrow morning, now it's going to be pretty early, we're going to go at about 8 o'clock or a little bit prior to that. We're going to start talking about sports. We're not going to stop until we're done. We're going to do that tomorrow. Members only a little bit early tomorrow at 8 o'clock or just a little bit before that. That for members, obviously. All members, Breakfast Buddies, the all-meal deal. With an all-meal deal, we still got a couple of books left, but you better, if you want a book, you better join now. I'll sign it to whoever you want. And then when they're gone, I'll order some more, but there's going to be a lag time. So there you go. Become a subscriber, and that doesn't cost nothing. Hit subscribe. You become eligible to win prizes. And by the way, this is a reminder to Scott Raudebush. Scott, you got 24 hours to get back to me, and that means DMing me on X your address, and I will send you the Gary Brackett autographed jersey. If you don't get back to me, then Monday it's going to be back in the hopper. We will have 6 Colts jerseys autographed by current or former Colts players that we will give away. All right? But you got to be a member, and you got to use the phrase that pays, and the phrase that pays today is, oh, Defo. There you go. Because Defo is now on IR. Smash that like button. Hit it. Hit it hard. And if you want to make a donation, but make sure and include a comment or a question that elevates the level of discourse on the channel. Let's go. Let's talk about sports. Yeah. Colts, Falcons, 9:30 in the morning on Sunday. Different, which is great. We get to watch. We're done at 12:30. We got the whole Sunday ahead of us. We can do whatever we want, and that's awesome. Colts, 15-3 all-time against the Falcons. Falcons, they won the last matchup, Christmas Eve 2023. Minshew is the quarterback. E.J. Speed, the leading tackler. What? And do you know who the quarterback was for the Falcons? I'll give you a second. I don't think you're going to guess it. I don't think he's working anymore. All right, nobody with an answer? Hey, bartender, give me a Heineke. Taylor Heineke. There you go. That was the guy. Here's the injury report for the Falcons. Matthew Bergeron, starting guard, out for Sunday. Chris Lindstrom, the other starting guard, he is questionable. Leonard Floyd, starting linebacker, out for Sunday. Mike Hughes, he is a backup cornerback. He's a starting cornerback. He is questionable for Sunday. Storm Norton, he's out for Sunday, an offensive tackle, backup offensive tackle. And Locally London is a backup defensive tackle. He is questionable. There they go. And that's all good news. Like, would I rather be in the Colts shape, injury-wise, or the Falcons? I think it's pretty much split down the middle, tell you the truth. By the way, Ebicom, Lewis, obviously Buckner's out. Buckner's on IR. But Gould, those guys out, Ebicom and Lewis, Gould is questionable for Sunday. I would feel better with Gould back there fielding punts than I would, even if all he does is throw his hand in the air and catch that punt. I'd feel better about that than I would about Josh Downs being back there after what happened to him last Sunday. Brad says, what time will be on the radio from Berlin? That it'll be 9 o'clock, pregame 9 o'clock from Berlin. And then you get an extra little bit. It's always a 6-hour window, but it'll be 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. The game, 9:30 to 12:30. What happens without Buckner on Sunday? Tommy Adebawore is going to be fine, and Neville Gallimore is going to be fine. Both those guys, not bad players. They're not DeForest Buckner. DeForest Buckner is very unique, very tall, big wingspan. When he gets his hand up, if Michael Vick threw into it, you know what? You got a potential big play. That's huge, right? Those guys, Adebawore and Gallimore, not altogether too tall, but they're pretty good. Like, Gallimore is good at stopping the run, and Adebawore is very, very fast and can go chase down a guy like Michael Penix Jr. So I don't think it's that big a deal. Let's talk, and we're going to talk more about that game with Ivan. Ivan's got some unique perspectives on that game, but let's talk about the biggest motivator for Penn State tomorrow in Happy Valley. I really think that it's the possibility that they could maybe become Hoosiers, that they want to put something good on tape so Curt Cignetti sees what those guys do. So when they go into the portal and Indiana says, you know what, I kind of like you. Why don't you come on over here? They say, yes, please, and they sprint out of that dumpster fire at State College, Pennsylvania, and beat a trail down, what it would be like the Turnpike to I-70, and then 70 on 465, and then 69 South. It's just that easy. I think that's what's going to happen. But this is the last team, I think, with any kind of opportunity whatsoever to really piss on the Hoosiers' undefeated parade. We have been on like a psychotic dreamscape for the last 14 months. As we've watched Indiana go, they went 10-0, and then this year they're 9-0, trying to go 10-0 again. This is like some kind of psychedelic dream. It's like we took a half tab of LSD or had some magic mushrooms, and we imagined the impossible, but we don't wake up. That's what this has become, and it's absolutely wonderful. So what will happen tomorrow? What will happen with Fisher and Kamara and Pons and Black and Mendoza and Serrett and that great offensive line and Cooper and everybody, Williams, Hemby? What's going to happen with all these guys? I think they're going to tear it up, and I believe that they're going to make Penn State pay for showing up tomorrow. I really do. I think that 14.5 ain't going to be close. I think Indiana routs their ass and makes the people who took Penn State plus 14.5 look like absolute troglodytes. Idiots. That's a some kind of prehistoric dinosaur type of human. I don't know. Remember the movie Trog? Something. The band, the Trogs, right? Louie Louie by the Trogs. There you go. That's old school rock and roll for you. But I can't wait to watch this game. I got friends who are texting me. The great Paulie Balls texted me about a half an hour ago, and he said, my God, please tell me. I'm getting skittish about tomorrow. Tell me that Indiana's going to win this game. I said, Indiana's going to win this game. And the 14.5, that's a gift. A gift, I tell you. We're going to have Ivan's picks in a minute. By the way, here's something about the Colts. This is kind of interesting. The Colts have allowed a passer rating of 49.1 on 3rd and long. That's really, really good. That's among the best in the NFL. The Falcons have run successful pass plays, when the quarterback is pressured 19% of the time, which is 30th in the NFL. You got to put pressure on Penix. You get pressure on Penix, everything goes to hell in a handcart. You let Penix operate in the pocket, and you got a problem. That's the way this game is going to go. It's all going to be about pressure on the opposing quarterback. If the Falcons can put a lot of pressure on Jones, you saw what happened last week. Jones will make a mistake. If you allow him to operate clean, and that offensive line keeps him clean in the pocket, and he steps up when appropriate, you got a great chance to win that game. Steelers didn't show anybody anything. Everybody knows. Like, this isn't a guy who just beamed in from the, Starship Enterprise, for God's sake. We've seen Daniel Jones for 5.5 years as a starter prior to this year. Everybody knows, and this is true for almost every quarterback in the NFL, you put pressure on that quarterback is going to make an occasional mistake. That's the way football works. We know this. Luke Fickell's going to be back as Wisconsin's head coach next year. I think that's bad news for Indiana fans because I think Luke Fickell's a good coach. And I think Wisconsin's going to get this thing right. They got to go get an offensive line that can play. You get an offensive line that can play, Danny O'Neal is going to be able to operate that offense effectively. You got to get weapons. That defense is fine. Everything else, trouble, minus O'Neal. And you got a tight end on that roster who's really pretty damn good. Other than that, that offense and that line, they got to go, and you got to figure that out. Like, you can't allow pressure to be created on any quarterback in the way it's been on Wisconsin quarterbacks this year, and there have been 3 of them. Freddie Williams says, better get to raking those leaves, Kent. Hey, Joey, these leaves aren't going to rake themselves. That's the way we handle leaves in this house. It's just good she's in the other part of the house. She can't hear me. Brian Windhorst, like I said, he's been extended by ESPN, a multi-year deal. Stop giving raises immediately to people. There are 150 of these guys knocking around. You got people in town here who could do that job just as well, if not better. I got nothing against Brian Windhorst, but everybody that ESPN hires, like they think is a gift to broadcasting, and they're not. They're not. Jeff Passan is a really good writer. On TV, he looks like an Oompa Loompa with a giant head. Jeff Passan, please. What are we doing over there? Why do you keep lavishing wealth upon these guys when they got nothing to do with my enjoyment of your product or any reasonable sports fan's enjoyment of your product? What are you doing? Kent is the best role model. Time to go try that on my woman. Yeah, give that a shot. Give that a shot, Kyle. Wish me luck. I wish you luck. Give me a call from the hospital. or from the courthouse. Something. No. If Julie wasn't all the way over, no. I got a friend who says that, but he never says it around his wife. Hey, that beer isn't going to get its... isn't going to get to me itself. What is all this crap about tribute videos for former players? I see this about Brooke Lopez, right? Are they going to have a tribute video for Brooke Lopez when he comes back to Milwaukee? What the hell is the matter with you? Are you out of your minds? Why was there a tribute, a video tribute to Miles Turner? What did Miles Turner do here that warranted a tribute video? I don't know whether the Pacers really kind of thought, we've got to do this for Miles, or they thought, hey, we got to do something kind of classy, but knowing that it's going to cause this crowd to have a heart attack and boo until they are hoarse. I don't know which it was, but of course the fans were going to boo. The guy on the way out the door crapped on the city, crapped on the players, crapped on the fans, crapped on the front office, crapped on everybody. What are you doing? Even if he was completely gracious in his exit, why would you have a tribute video for a guy who was like the caboose player on even the NBA Finals team? Miles Turner was never a guy who was going to get you a title. What are we doing? Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, LeBron James, sure. These guys are video guys. You don't have a video for a guy who signed as a free agent with another team. What are you, cockamamie nuts? Yikes. What are you doing? Why? I would really like a tribute video honoring me for my latest tribute video. And on and on and on and on. Can you give me a tribute video? I've done tribute videos for people. Could I get a tribute video for my tribute videos? Jeez. Mark Sanchez, you know what? Every time you have an employee screw stuff up, and you got to let that employee go. It's sad personally, but professionally, it's a great opportunity to lift. That's the way it is. Brad says, even on the Netflix series, I could see how Turner didn't contribute anything. LOL. 100%. That's who he is. People in the media know. Listen to the people in the media sometimes. Some of the people in the media are right all of the time. All of the people in the media are right some of the time. In this case, everybody was right about Miles Turner because nobody in media has a great thing to say about Miles Turner. Nothing. All right, let's turn it over to Ivan. I got them all warmed up for you, baby. All right, the great Ivan is going to share. There he is. Ivan's going to share his insight for investors this weekend. How you doing, Ivan?
I'm doing great. The weather's fantastic. Look, I've been studying stuff all week long. Watching, seeing, breaking down tape, and I'm ready to bark. You get it? Bark. All right, listen. The Indiana Hoosiers, in their last 8 games, they're 6-2 against the spread. They are also 6-2 hitting the over. I love Indiana minus 14.5. I love them hitting the over, the 50.5 all by themselves. I don't think they're going to need any help from Penn State. Penn State is like that ship at sea without a rudder. It's chaos. Chaos in Happy Valley. Call it Chaos Valley. How about the Colts? -6, and we'll get to the props. Couple of props for the Hoosiers coming up in just a minute. All right, Colts, -6.5. No Buck. Who gives a fungus? Get it? Fungus. I got some tree mold down along my root line. No Buck. Who gives a fungus? Yeah. Colts, they cover the 6.5. All right, couple of props for IU. Black, the over-under for rushing yards, 47.5. Give me the over. Hemby, the over-under, 64.5. Give me the over. I'm going big on the Hoosiers. They run it when they want to, when they need to. They'll run it for 350 right down your throat, like Fernando Mendoza said. Mendoza speaks the truth, and Ivan only speaks the truth. So I love Fernando Mendoza. Hey, how about some props for the Colts? All right, Alec Pierce, over 53.5 yards receiving. He has hit the over 12 of his last 14 games. How about Daniel Jones? Give me the under on the rushing yards. The over-under on that, on the rushing yards, 14.5. He has hit that 8 of his last 10 games. Tyler Warren, 45.5 yards. He'll do it in the first half. Give me the over on Tyler Warren. All right, like you said, Sterling, 49.1 on 3rd and long. That's the Colts. That's what they have allowed for a passer rating on 3rd and long. I see Michael Penix Jr. being confused the entire afternoon in Berlin. He ain't going to know which way is up. And like you said also, Falcons have run successful plays on 19% of their plays when the quarterback is pressured. That's 30th in the NFL. I love the Colts in this game, their ability to put pressure on Michael Penix Jr. I love the Colts minus the 6.5. All of these, not guaranteed. We guarantee nothing. These are for entertainment purpose only. However, you want to make a few bucks, I suggest you get busy and you listen to Ivan, because Ivan has spoken.
There you go. There's Ivan. Ivan knows stuff. Ivan rocks. Ivan's wood. He'll tell you, right? He's nodding. What are you going to do? Ivan's ready for a big weekend of sports. You are too. Let's go Hoosiers. Let's go Colts. Let's go Pacers. This West Coast trip is make or break for the Pacers. They got 4 games. They lose all 4. They're going to be 1-11. You got to split minimum. You got to leave this West Coast trip 3-9, or you got real trouble. Maybe they could win more than they lose. Do you see that happening after losing to the Nets? Charles Egger says, who are the backups for Buckner? Score prediction for IU and the Colts. I like 45-10 for the Hoosiers and 31-13 for the Colts. Let's get saucy. Go IU, go Colts. I'm with you on the Colts. I think it's going to be somewhere in the teens, the upper teens. I don't think the Falcons going to be able to play with the Colts. For the Hoosiers, I think they're going to score more. I think they're going to go over 50 again. You know, they've won 2 games by 50 or more. Nobody else against Power 4 opponents has won even one of those games. And the Colts last week, if they wanted to, they could have done that against Maryland at Maryland. They could have had a third. I think they have a chance for one this coming week, tomorrow, noon. Can't wait for that game. Thank you, Charles.